Alright guys, it is January 6th, currently 9:30 at night. I'm just going to do a quick little trade recap for you guys because I wasn't able to get it done earlier today. I did take a live trade, but I don't have time to edit the videos of right now. And I want to get a trade recap out at least. Um, I don't want to have to post a live day trading video days after once I get time to edit it. I'm flying out on Wednesday in a couple days, or the day after tomorrow. I'm just not going to really have time to be editing the live day trading video, so I'm just going to do a quick trade recap, do very minimal editing on this video. I'm just going to keep it short and simple. So going into the day here, and I'll leave my executions on the chart so you guys can see it'll all make sense. Going into the day, obviously I'm checking the daily time frame. I want to see our bias on the day. Looking at this, sorry, I have a bunch of random shit down here. Going into the day, I am pretty bullish, but I do remember as I was looking at this live, I remember I was looking at this sort of move, sort of kind of as if we were turning this into sort of bearish order flow. So that's what I was looking at there, and that was kind of what was sticking out to me. So I'm moving into the 4 hour, see if we have, similar bias here. But still, overall, bear or bullish order flow. Obviously, we have this bear move down, but then as of January 2nd, boom, we have this manipulation like up. So this is pretty strong bullish momentum. So I'm keeping that in mind. And again, boom, we're breaking all this buy side liquidity. So that's very key to me. And that's something I'm going to be watching for. Going into the day, one thing I immediately pointed out that I thought was going to be very important was us sweeping this buy side liquidity pre-market. It just seemed like quite the level to me that, I don't know, I guess was important. Just put it at that. So I went into the day thinking that we would probably catch a reversal. Now this is what I'm going to be changing going into 2025. Rather than looking for reversals, most times I get stopped out on this. Most times what will happen is price will break structure, and then even though it'll trade off a fair value gap, it'll end up just stopping me out. What I'm going to be changing is I'm going to be looking for continuations from now on, which is what I did today. And I'll show you guys. So from now on, I'm going to be looking at a lot of people. What I would have done before is once I see a break below this, boom, that's a break of structure. I want to see a trade up into a fair value gap and trade down. Now I'm going to be looking as this is our liquidity sweep, and I'm going to take longs off that. That makes sense. So it's more of a continuation type of thing. So that's what I'm looking for going into 2025 rather than always catching reversals. It's a way higher probability to do continuations in my opinion. I was back testing over the last I back tested 3 months of 2024, the first 3 months, and I'm going to do the whole year because I didn't really trade much during 2024. And I want to get a total P&L, see my stats and everything. But just over the January, oh no, it was just 2 months, January and February, I was able to, I think, cash up to 14K in P&L. Again, it's back testing. It's not the be-all end-all. There's not really any emotion behind it, but still, I was able to prove to myself that, boom, that strategy works. So I need to do my due diligence and apply that to the market. So back to our analysis here. Basically, when I had saw this buy side liquidity sweep pre-market, I'm sort of looking at this and I'm saying, okay, what can we do if we want to take a reversal off this? Because we just swept out a pretty prominent high, right? So what I did was I looked to the left and I noticed we have this hourly imbalance. And so if I go down to the 5 minute, at this point in time, boom. So this is the this is the high right here, this little line. So as you can see, we break above it, and this is at 7:45 Eastern, so I'm not even awake yet, but I do notice once I wake up that, yeah, so we have broken above this. We're also trading inside of this hourly imbalance. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, if we respect this hourly imbalance and we've just swept a major point of buy side liquidity, we can probably catch a reversal here. Let's be real. So that's what was going through my head here. And I was kind of marking this low out as what our break of structure would have been, to then potentially what I would have done is traded off a fair value gap like this. That setup didn't present itself at all. I know a lot of people that caught this leg. Well, I don't know a lot of people. I did see one video where somebody did catch this leg. I did not, because there wasn't, I don't really trade. I do watch the 1 minute when I enter the trades. I don't use my confirmations on the 1 minute most often. So there wasn't really much on the 5 minute to give me any confirmation to enter this. Yes, obviously could have said, okay, yeah, tiny little fair value gap here, whatever. To me, that's not. I mean, I didn't even see it. I'll be honest, and I probably wouldn't have taken it. Anyways, so after this move down, I'm thinking, okay, so maybe we're gonna head lower and lower and lower. And what I had pointed out was we had this level of sell-side liquidity here, which I thought was pretty prominent, that I honestly thought the price would just continue dropping and we are going to take this out. We also had London lows around here, so we had these London lows right here, which I thought those were pretty prominent too. I thought market was just going to come down, take out those, especially with that strong manipulation leg. And then of course we had Asia's equal lows down here, and like everybody knows, equal lows are, they're pretty, I mean, they're like magnets, man. What can I say? And also it being a session low, to me that was also very bearish, right? I expected price to come down and take out all of these, especially after sweeping such a strong high. But I don't know what the market does. It does what it, I don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm waiting for it to present me a setup. So it did not head lower. So once I saw that price, boom, we were getting displacement up, I'm thinking, okay, if we see a break above this high, this will make sense to take longs. Why? Because we just had a liquidity sweep right here, okay? I would only look for longs. This is what I was telling myself. I would only look for longs if I see this 1 hour get inversed, because that's just common sense to me. So if this 1 hour gets inversed, boom, we have our liquidity sweep. We have our break of structure above this level. So now we have a market structure shift. And now we can look to inverse this 1 hour. So we end up getting a close above this 1 hour. So now I am looking for longs at this point. There's no reason for me to be taking shorts, as we've just created a new high, inverse this 1 hour, right? So I'm very bullish at the moment. So going into this, I'm looking down at the 1 minute. I'm seeing, okay, where can I find an entry? And this is what ends up happening. So boom, we have this 1 minute that we trade off really nicely. So I'm like, okay, boom. So we trade into this 1 hour and this 1 minute. We reject off it really hard. Okay, so I'm looking at that. I'm saying, okay, this is a very bullish sign, etc. We continue our push higher. We're a bit of consolidation. And then what I did see here was another 1 minute form, which I wanted to see hold, which we did. This is the candle I had entered on, because I saw bullish momentum out of it. So I had entered off this candle, and I had targeted 60.59, I believe. Not sure the exact cent, but I had put my stop a tick below these lows for a 1.7 RR. So as you can see, we would have hit TP, right, without a problem. But I had entered 3 contracts instead of 2, and this was my choice. I didn't do it by accident. And so when I saw this TP was at $2,600 and my stop loss was at like I don't know, it was like 1,800. I'm like, okay, I'm not comfortable with risking that. So I ended up moving around my risk structure, and it ended up looking like this instead. Before it was like, I don't know, it was just it was something weird. I was like, okay, I'm not comfortable with that. So I ended up fixing it to be this. So as market goes, I'm not super confident in this trade, but I do hold it. One thing that did keep me holding this trade, I forget what it was. Right, it was this. So I saw this breaker block here. Actually, I guess it's just an order block. So we have these 3 legs that swept out liquidity. So I'm using this as the breaker block, which price respected perfectly. And to me, that's a super good sign. So I held my trade, I held it. And then around, yeah, so at this candle here, unfortunately, so we would have caught a $1,700 trade. Unfortunately, I had put my stop about, I think it was right around here. So this is where I moved my stop to, this line. I obviously can't move it there, but that's where I was because I wanted to secure profits if price came down. But I didn't think it was going to come down, which just I was going to end up just trailing it. But out of absolute, I'm going to show you guys the recording, out of absolutely nowhere, I think in like 5 seconds, price just came shooting down, stopped me out. And in the next 4 minutes, I went up and hit my TP. So it was pretty frustrating to watch. But, you know, I mean, shit happens. What can I say? So I'll go ahead and show you guys really quickly the recording. Just give me a moment here. Alright, so here's the recording here. So I'll go ahead and show you guys. So boom, I'm in the trade. We had 10.50 points. And as you can see, my P&L up here. We had ended up reaching, I think, a high of, we were up like $900 at one point, and I had marked out this level on the chart that I said to myself that if price reaches this point, I'm going to move my stop a bit above break even just so I can secure profits. And so price did come up that high, and I think that level is like for about $900. So you'll see once price does end up reaching this level, I end up right here. You see I move my stop to there, and then this is the candle here. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Skip ahead just a bit. Yeah, okay. So this was the candle here that just out of nowhere. Watch. So boom, it just comes crashing down. Just out of nowhere. I mean, the only way I could have avoided that is to not move my stop, obviously. But it is what it is. I can't change it. It was still a win, right? So I'm not that upset. But, you know, it is a little annoying because it could have had a $1,700 day and got us far out of drawdown. But you know what? I'm not going to stress about it. I stuck with my rules. I entered this trade properly. The only thing, I did actually break a rule, and I didn't even really realize this until recording this trade recap, was that these fair value gaps that I traded off of were 1 minutes. And if you guys have seen from my last videos, like my strategy, I specifically only enter trades off 5 minutes or higher, like a 5 minute or higher confluence. 1 minutes typically mean nothing to me unless I'm already in a trade and I'm just using them to use as like support areas to support my trade to go higher and higher. If I'm using it, what I'm saying is I would never use them as an entry, but I did in this case, and you could see like it even got disrespected here, but price still went up. So this is why I don't use them. This is why I don't like them on the 1 minute. Yes, it did work out, but at the same time, well, it's not really a good thing because I did break a rule. We were also really close to getting stopped out here. But that was that. Price ended up just rallying higher and higher. If I had done 2 contracts, my TP definitely would have been a bit higher. But when you're trading 3 contracts, you only need like this much of a move, 10 points, to secure a good amount, you know? But yeah, guys, that was the trade. If you guys have any feedback in the comments, I appreciate it more than ever. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything you guys want to ask me, go ahead. I wouldn't call myself a profitable trader. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a profitable trader. I don't sell anything. I'm just trying to be as like, I guess, as see-through as I can and just show you guys the true process of what it's like. But we'll definitely get there one day, and I feel like it's going to be very soon that I can call myself a profitable trader. But I need to prove that to myself over the course of at least 3 months. Once I see consistent profitability over 3 months, I think it's safe to say I can call myself a profitable day trader. And that's obviously the end goal. So, but yeah, guys, I think that'll just close up the recap here. Not much else to cover, so I will see you guys tomorrow morning on Tuesday, which I may live stream. I'm not sure. I'm gonna obviously record the trade, but I may live stream, I may not. We'll see. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow morning.